Have you ever found yourself thinking that no matter how hard you try, money seems to slip through your fingers? Maybe you even believe that wealth is reserved for just a few privileged people while you struggle to make ends meet. What if I told you that this belief might be precisely what's blocking prosperity from reaching you? What many don't realize is that money doesn't respond to physical effort, but rather to the energy you emit. Yes, that's right. The words you speak before you go to sleep may be determining whether you'll attract abundance or remain stuck in scarcity. Now, you might be wondering, can a single word really change my financial life? And I'm here to tell you, yes, it can. But it's not just any word. There's an ancient secret, a simple but incredibly powerful practice that can literally reprogram your subconscious mind and change the way you attract money. And the most surprising part, you don't need more physical effort, no new complicated strategies, and certainly no inhuman sacrifices. What you're about to discover may be unsettling, even controversial. After all, we've spent our entire lives hearing that wealth only comes through sweat and struggle. But what if that's the biggest mistake? What if, by saying just one word before bed, you could begin vibrating on a different frequency in sync with prosperity? It's possible, and Oprah Winfrey is here to show you how. Are you ready to transform your life with the law of attraction? So start now. Visualize what you truly want and take the first step towards a life of abundance and purpose. Remember, the universe responds to your energy.
Was born on January 29, 1954, in a small town called Kosciuszko, Mississippi. It was a tiny town in the southern United States, and back then, life wasn't easy, especially for a young black girl born to a single mother. My mother, Vernita Lee, was only 18 when she had me. She worked as a housemaid, and we had almost nothing. My father, Vernon Winfrey, was a young soldier serving in the army and wasn't around in my early years. I vividly remember living in a small wooden house without electricity and often without enough food. It wasn't uncommon for me to go to bed hungry, with my stomach growling and my eyes filled with tears. But what bothered me more than the physical hunger was the emotional hunger, the feeling of being invisible, as if the world around me couldn't see or hear me. My grandmother, Hattie Mae Lee, who raised me for many years while my mother worked in the city, used to tell me that, despite everything, I had to believe in something greater. She was a woman of unwavering faith, and with her calloused hands and a heart full of hope, she planted the first seeds of resilience in me. While I helped with household chores, she taught me to read the Bible, and without realizing it, those words began to shape my mind. What I didn't understand at that moment was that I was being prepared for something much greater. The poverty around me, the hardships, and even the daily humiliations we endured, all of this was forging something powerful within me. I remember one day, in particular, that's forever etched in my memory. I was around 6 years old, and a white woman for whom my grandmother worked gave me an old, torn, and dirty dress. When I got home, my grandmother looked me in the eyes and said, "You're worth much more than anything they could give you, Oprah." In that moment, something inside me awakened. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was a spark of something greater. But right then, I understood that even though I was poor and living in a society that told me otherwise, I had value. That thought was the first of many that would help me build the resilience I'd need throughout my life. My childhood was marked by constant change. At age 6, I went to live with my mother in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was a difficult time, filled with instability and, sadly, abuse. My mother worked long hours and could barely care for me. I felt alone, confused, and often scared. It was during this time that I began seeking comfort in books. The public library became my refuge, a place where I could escape from harsh reality and dive into worlds of endless possibilities. At 9 years old, I experienced sexual abuse that profoundly marked me. It was a dark period in my life, filled with shame and guilt. I didn't understand what was happening to me and no one to talk to. But even in that moment of darkness, something within me refused to give up. I started writing in a journal, pouring my thoughts and feelings onto the pages. Unbeknownst to me, I was practicing a form of therapy, processing my trauma through words. At 14, I moved in with my father in Nashville, Tennessee. It was a change that transformed my life. My father was a disciplined man who valued education highly. He provided me with structure, rules, and, most importantly, expectations. For the first time, someone expected me to excel, and I was determined not to disappoint. I began to excel in school, participating in speech competitions and debates. It was during this time that I discovered my love for communication. and my ability to captivate an audience. As I grew older, I started to realize that I had a gift for communication. I loved reading aloud and telling stories to anyone who would listen. My father and stepmother would say that I had a special light, something that captivated people. Gradually, I understood that I could use this ability to change my reality. At 17, I won a speech contest that secured me a full scholarship to the University of Tennessee. It was my first major triumph, proof that I could overcome my past and create a better future for myself. In college, I studied communications and performing arts, honing my skills and preparing for what was to come. It was during my second year in college that I had my first experience on television. A local Nashville station was looking for a young Black woman to be a news anchor, and I was selected. I was only 19 and terrified, but I knew it was an opportunity I couldn't let pass. I remember spending hours in front of the mirror, practicing my diction and posture, determined to prove that I belonged there. But not everything was easy. There were moments of doubt, fear, and insecurity. I still carried the scars of my past and often questioned whether I truly deserved the success I was beginning to experience. It was during this time that I began to take an interest in the law of attraction and the power of positive thinking. Maintaining that positive mindset wasn't easy. There were times when reality seemed to contradict everything I believed. I faced rejection, prejudice, and obstacles that felt insurmountable. But I refused to give up. Every no I received, every door that closed, I faced as a redirection to something better. At 22, I moved to Baltimore to work as a co-anchor for the local news. It was a period of intense growth, both professionally and personally. I was determined to stand out, to prove my worth. I worked long hours, studied constantly, and pushed myself to improve each day. But it was also a time of challenges. I faced sexism and racism in the workplace and often felt underestimated and undervalued. I vividly remember the day I decided to change my life forever. I was sitting in my small living room in Baltimore, reflecting on my career and my life. I felt frustrated, exhausted from trying to prove my worth to others. That night, I had a heartfelt conversation with myself. I knew, deep down in my heart, that I deserved more. I deserved abundance, respect, and fulfillment. But I also knew that none of that would come if I continued to vibrate at the frequency of scarcity and self-doubt. So I made a decision. I would reprogram my mind for success. I began studying everything I could about the law of attraction, the power of positive thinking, and visualization. I committed every day to focus my energy on what I wanted to attract, not on what I feared. Before going to bed, I vividly visualized the life I desired, the impact I wanted to have, the people I wanted to help, the abundance I wanted to experience. And I always ended with the words, "I am grateful for everything I have and for everything that is to come." Gradually, I began to notice subtle changes. Opportunities started to arise, people began to notice me and value my work. I felt more confident, more energetic, more aligned with my purpose. And the more I focused on radiating positivity, the more positivity seemed to find me. In 1978, at the age of 24, I received an offer to co-host a morning show in Baltimore, People Are Talking. It was my first experience with a talk show format, and I fell in love instantly. For the first time, I felt like I had found my true calling. I could be myself, connect with people in an authentic way, and address topics that truly mattered. The show was a success, and I began to gain recognition beyond Baltimore. In 1983, I was invited to host a morning show in Chicago called AM Chicago. It was a great opportunity, but also a big risk. I would have to leave behind everything I knew and start from scratch in a new city. But something inside me said it was the right path to take. I moved to Chicago with nothing but 2 suitcases and a fierce determination. The show was in last place in the ratings when I took over, but I was determined to change that. I used everything I had learned about the law of attraction and the power of a positive mindset. Every morning before entering the studio, I repeated my mantra, "I am love, I am light, I am abundance." In less than a year, AM Chicago became the most watched show in the city. My authentic and compassionate approach resonated with the audience. I wasn't just interviewing guests, I was connecting with them on a deep level, exploring topics that really mattered to people. In 1986, at the age of 32, I received the opportunity that would change my life forever. My show was renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show and was broadcast nationally. Suddenly, I had a platform to reach millions of people every day. It was both frightening and exciting. I remember the first day of taping the national show. I was nervous, but also incredibly grateful. Before entering the studio, I closed my eyes and visualized success. I saw myself connecting with millions of people, inspiring them to live better lives. I felt the excitement of that future as if it were already real. And then, I took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. The show was an instant success. People connected with my authenticity, my empathy, and my message of empowerment. I was living my dream, doing what I loved, and positively impacting the lives of millions. But more importantly, I was vibrating at the frequency of my highest truth. I had become a magnet for abundance in all areas of my life. In the years that followed, The Oprah Winfrey Show became a cultural phenomenon. We tackled difficult and controversial topics, celebrated human triumphs, and explored the depths of the human experience. I had the privilege of interviewing presidents, celebrities, spiritual leaders, and ordinary people with extraordinary stories. But with success came new challenges. Fame brought a level of scrutiny I had never experienced before. Every aspect of my life was under the public microscope. My weight, my relationships, my decisions, everything was commented on and criticized. There were times when the pressure felt overwhelming.
It was during these times that the practice of gratitude and positive visualization became even more crucial. Every night, no matter how difficult the day had been, I forced myself to list 5 things I was grateful for. Sometimes they were major achievements. Other times they were simple things like a beautiful sunset or a warm cup of tea. This practice helped me maintain perspective and continue vibrating at the frequency of abundance. In 1998, I launched The Oprah magazine, expanding my message beyond television. In 2000, I launched Oprah's book club, sharing my love for reading and highlighting talented authors. In 2003, I became the first Black female billionaire in history. Each achievement was a testament to the power of the law of attraction and a positive mindset. Oprah Winfrey's story is a powerful testament to human potential and the transformative power of the law of attraction. From a childhood marked by poverty and abuse to becoming one of the most influential and successful individuals in the world, her life is proof that it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you're going and what you're willing to do to get there. Perhaps the most important lesson we can learn from her life is that true success doesn't come from the outside, but from within. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, radiating love and positivity, and using your light to illuminate the path for others. So, let Oprah's story be your guide. Let it inspire you to dream bigger, love more deeply, and believe in the limitless potential within you. Because when you change your vibration, when you align yourself with the frequency of abundance and gratitude, miracles begin to happen. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You have the power to shape your life with your thoughts, words, and actions. So, choose wisely, choose love, choose faith, choose gratitude, and watch as the universe conspires in your favor, bringing abundance and joy beyond your wildest imagination. This is your moment. This is your life. Make it a masterpiece.